The main reason Hamas has support is because the good guys won't stand on principle. That's how you get people to think. Gotta stand on principle. You gotta take a stand. And the fact that the good guys, the pragmatists, they're not going to be attracted to that. But once you cross a certain threshold, there's no coming back. The better leftists, when they discovered what Stalin did, became anti-Stalin, and many of them abandoned communism. But today, they just saw in real time what Hamas did. It's all over the web, and Hamas put it up. Now, of course, everybody's saying it didn't happen. The latest thing is, no, children weren't killed, rapes didn't happen, they didn't kill any women, and people are buying it. That's such a level of evasion. If there was an alternative stand, there was principle, consistent, over time, but there would have been fewer people like that. The real fault here is with the good. Evil enters into the space created by good, to the weakness of the good, to the silence of the good, to the fact that we don't stand up. Same thing in Germany under the Nazis. It's not like people believed in the Nazis. They didn't stand up against. The opposition was silent, acquiesced. The tragedy is that the only people in Israel who have the principles to stand up to the Palestinians are the religious nutcases. If you're secular, there are no principles. There's no morality. Who has principles in morality? You in the secular. In that sense, the religion is so right. The secular world is morality free. The only way you can justifiably stop those protests, or whatever you want to call it, is by the West uniting around the idea that Islamic totalitarianism is the enemy. This all goes back to 9/11 and our inability to call the enemy the enemy. As long as you're afraid to define the enemy, call an enemy, how can you pick and choose who can protest and who can't, who can declare horrible ideas and who can't? You've got to have a principle behind it. There's nothing. There's silence. I noticed that Hamas is almost never described, ever, in any media outlet as an Islamic organization. It's like this could be a completely secular Palestinian authority and nobody would know the difference. Hamas is motivated by the same ideology, the same attitude as ISIS. There's no fundamental philosophical, ideological difference between Hamas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad. They are basically Islamic fundamentalists. They are authoritarians. They do not value human life. They don't value their own life. They see jihad as a cause greater than themselves, worthy of dying for. And they view the lives of non-Muslims as not worth much. Remember, in the Quran, Muhammad, in his first victory, beheads. Big numbers of people that are taken prisoner are beheaded. The whole ISIS beheading on video has its origins in kind of the history of Islam. Anybody who argues Islam is a religion of peace, all you have to do is read the Quran to see that's not true. And of course, their behavior counters that belief. The brutality of Hamas shouldn't surprise anybody. And why listen to Western theologians describing Islam? Go to the source. Islamic theologians will tell you that it's about jihad. It's about killing. And of course, all religions necessitate force. Just some have been pacified by reason being westernized, and some have not. Islam has not.